This is CJ's Dream Garage. In this video, I feature two Porsche Gt3 RS with a Weissach package. The one on the left is by Norev, the one on the right by Minichamps, both in 1/18 scale. I recently got these two, one from the Norev brand from Asia, and one Minichamps from the United States for where I bought from the retailers. Of course, they're both made in China. But the one on the left, the Norev, I noticed obviously at the first you see that it has a license plate, whereas the Minichamps does not. I find that most Norev cars so far with the Porsche Gt3 have the license plate on it, whereas the Minichamps do not. There are many noticeable differences on the cars. The most distinguished on these two, of course, is the different colors. I wanted to get two different kind of cars to be able to compare them for you in the Weissach package. It didn't seem like the Weissach packages came out as soon as the Gt3 RS other models came out, and so I wanted to do a specific video on how these two different companies did the Weissach package, meaning especially the carbon fiber look on the hood, the mirrors, the roof, and the spoiler. And also I'll point out different features that are different in terms of tires and rims and such as well, and some of the lighting. So this one here you can see most closely is the Norev. It's in a silver, and the Minichamps in the background is a white. And so it's a challenge to sometimes film these cars as they are different colors, and so it gives off different hues, and sometimes it makes for an adjustment in the lighting. And typically white or bright, say yellow cars are the most vibrant to shoot in terms of filming. But you can see from the front here that the license plate on that Norev stands out quite a bit, whereas the Minichamps doesn't have one. The grille on the Norev again does have a grate, so it's actually like a mesh, whereas on the Minichamps I'm not sure it is. If it is, it's very tight, but I think it's just one chunk. Here on the Minichamps though, you can see the tires are very low profile, and they do highlight on each tire it's Michelin and the Sport Cup 2s, and the calipers are yellow, and you can see the rotors in the background that are have the perforated holes in them. That beautiful Gt3 RS badge on the side. On the back here you can see the taillights are much darker actually on the Minichamps than the Norev, and not as detailed. And also those bottom red lights are simply painted on, whereas the Norev seems to have a plastic piece in there. And again, the license plate on the back is very distinctive to the Norev models. And on the Norev model here, you can see the wheels are a much more fat profile, not as skinny. And the print is still the Michelin Sport Cup 2s on it. However, it's more of like a gloss look, and so it's not as kind of faded white on the Minichamps. And that Gt3 RS symbol is painted on the side there. It looks really beautiful. The rims are obviously different as well. The Norev is a more silver look, whereas the Minichamps is black in the rim. Here you can see the top view looking down on the Weissach package and how different it looks with that Weissach carbon fiber that goes on each side of the vents on the hood. And so it has kind of three fingers that branch from the front leading edge of the hood. And also the roof is in carbon fiber as well as the mirrors, and then the spoiler too. The vents over the tires are not in a carbon fiber print. They seem to be just like a metal black matte finish, and you can see the different styles in terms of the width of those a little bit. The white one seems like the fingers are a little bit thinner, especially on the outside, but also the inside finger. And then the back spoiler here, you can see the white one is much easier to see, distinctive, but both of them have a carbon fiber print on the back on that spoiler second upper piece that on the Minichamps actually does fold back and forth, and so you can put it in an open position or down for the exemplifying the DRS, whereas the Norev it does not. We'll look at a cool feature later on the back of those spoilers. Here's a closer look at the two cars side by side. One of the things you can see right away is that the Minichamps does a rim around the headlights in a gray format here. It seems that they take extra concern about giving some rim to the headlight, and so it has that gray rim around it, painted right seemingly on the glass itself. And here you can see those side profile fins to guide the air through to the tire and to let the hot air off the tire to cool down. Unfortunately, I've heard in real life scenarios that a lot of guys collect a lot of rocks in those places behind the tires that a lot of the airflow is going through. And you can see the GT3 RS badge on the back of both of the vehicles. The white one again has a lot darker taillight, and so therefore harder to see the distinctions, whereas the Norev you can see the Porsche letters written there, and then the gray kind of lines that outline the bottom of the taillight. And this car in particular, the Norev, has red calipers and the silver rims, and they're different from the other rims I've seen on other Norev GT3 RSs. These are without that center section of even more detail. Yeah, and the headlights do look a little different on each one. I find that the Norev kind of goes with the big center beam, and then the four smaller ones on the outside are actually kind of circles, whereas the Minichamps has that one big beam in the middle and then kind of like more of a square shape on the outside for those four smaller lights. But from the front, you can see that they look pretty similar. There's a little bit more distinction on the Norev, just with the grille, as it's a bigger mesh. Here again, you can see that painted rim around the Minichamps headlight more closely in the different shape, where it's more of a rectangle shape of those outer beam lights around the centerpiece. And what you'll start noticing too is that the mesh on the Minichamps is much finer on the air events from the hood. And what you'll notice here is that you can see the two different takes on the carbon fiber look. I find that the one on the Minichamps is actually very hard to see when you're just looking at it in certain lighting. It doesn't even, when I first opened the package, it didn't even look like it had a carbon fiber print, and it's a much lighter look. Here's what I was mentioning before on the back of that spoiler. If you prop it up on the Minichamps, you can actually see the word Porsche printed on the bottom, which is a very cool feature. I've been looking for that and figuring out, and I didn't even realize it was on some of my other models, including the GT3 RS Norev here as well. It's just that it doesn't bend down, but with the right angle and the right lighting, you can see the Porsche written on the bottom, which is just an extra topping of coolness to brand the Porsche look. And here you can see the Minichamps spoiler at the back and how it just pops against that white paint finish. Again, the Norev signal light at the bottom there looks much better than this Minichamps one. It's just a painted red. It just gives that more realistic look of... here's the Norev again with the spoiler. Unfortunately, it does not have a position where it can flick up, but you can see here underneath it does say Porsche, and inside there you can see all the mounts for the spoiler, all the mechanical systems to make it move up and down. Here's the rims and the tire from the front part of the Norev model with the silver rims and red calipers, and you can see how much different it looks with the lower profile on the Minichamps and that more white print on the tire that says Michelin Sport Cup 2. Here's a look from side by side. There's a little bit of distortion in this because the Minichamps is a little bit closer, and so it makes it look a little bit longer, but here's a side profile of the Minichamps GT3 RS, which I think is very close to the actual look. Here's the Norev 1/18 scale GT3 RS Porsche, So it just gives you a feel for the different profiles that they have. The wheels both turn on both vehicles. Here's an indication of that, both left and right turn. The look on the tires is amazing on both of them, I find, and there's good tread look. And just having that angled turn effect is really cool for photography or filming here. It just gives that extra dynamic look of like flaunting tires. And so here's again a look at the Norev one with that Porsche printed under the spoiler, that carbon fiber look, and just the beautiful job that Norev did overall in this vehicle. One thing I should mention is that they are in the same price range, but the big difference is, of course, is that the Norev is an open model. You can open doors and the hood as well, whereas the Minichamps you cannot open it. And I do feel that the Norev actually did a better job on the carbon fiber look. It's just a much deeper and more of a glossy look that I've seen most carbon fiber look like. Whereas the Minichamps, when I opened it, I was kind of like, I said, like, wow, like I could hardly see the carbon fiber look on it. Whereas here you can see it so distinctly. And that goes for the roof as well on the Norev. It's and the spoiler too. So it's just a very definitive carbon fiber look with more of a dark black carbon fiber look. And here you can see this angle where you can see into the tires, the taillight and the detailing there again. So overall, I definitely am very impressed with Norev. I feel like they've hit this one out of the park. Whereas the Minichamps here, you can see the carbon fiber isn't as distinctive. In the right lighting, it can be more pronounced, but it is lighter and more of a gray color, almost like it's a grayish silver carbon fiber look. Here's the side angle showing just those lights are not quite as detailed, and maybe for a darker look. Perhaps it's trying to mimic that some of these cars do have kind of more of a clear black plastic cover on the taillights as an option. And you can see that Porsche written on the bottom there, and here it shows it changing for the downforce position. So when the person driving the car wants to go on a straightaway, they open it up, and then when they come to the corners, they want downforce, they close it up, and it pushes the car down with, I believe, 800 kilograms of downforce at a certain speed of 200 miles an hour, something like that. So you can see the car in a position from the side, again showing that the tires do turn. It is a fabulous looking car, this Minichamps, but again the doors do not open, and neither does the hood. So that's one drawback, whereas the Norev for the same price range, you get all those things opening. But again, I do like the tires and the rims on the Minichamps better in some ways. I feel it's more accurate to what you see on the real cars, with just a more low profile. But here's a few looks at the carbon fiber again, just to give you a sense of the difference. From a distance here, you can barely even tell that the carbon fiber print is there. You kind of have to get closer up. Here's a closer up view, but again, it kind of looks like a fabric look rather than a carbon fiber look in some ways. I think it's maybe just a finer weave that they were trying to go for. You can see it somewhat here on the spoiler as well, and all the apparatus for opening and closing. So that's the one cool feature about the Minichamps with the Weissach package. It's just that carbon fiber thin top there, but with the ability to change it to the up and down position, and seen here, and to show off that Porsche print on the back that is just so tops off that car, and just, you know, reminds you you're following a Porsche, or you're behind a Porsche and it's blazing a trail. Thanks for watching.